What up, poetry lovers, and welcome to Beatnix on the Road, a virtual poetry tour where every episode we stop in a different city to meet the poets of that scene and hear what they're about. And today's stop, it is a personal favorite of mine. Love coming to this city to rock with the folks. We have a legend from the city too. This is Salt Lake City with the incomparable RJ Walker. This is my friend. RJ, how you doing?
Oh boy. So glad to be here and see you again, virtually though it may be.
Yeah. We have not seen each other since the Pandeezy. That's wild. But look, y'all, RJ Walker, y'all are going to love his poems. He's very unique, and that's me saying that. This man is very unique. Um, oh, in the best way. So here we go. RJ Walker, let me tell y'all a little bit about him. I'm gonna read from my phone. RJ Walker is a spoken word poet and playwright from Salt Lake City, Utah. He's the host of the Greenhouse Effect open mic, which I love, incredible open mic, and the founder of Lords of Misrule Theater Company. He placed sixth in the individual World Poetry Slam, fourth at the National Poetry Slam, and won the Spirit of the Slam award for hosting the first compliment deathmatch event, which was revolutionary. Y'all, so listen, this set is brought to you by Mid-Atlantic Group and the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Without further ado, I'm gonna hide myself from view. RJ Walker, the spotlight's on you.
Um, since this is a tour of the cities, I think I'm gonna open with this one, which is an elegy for Zach Baker, who was an activist from Salt Lake City. This poem is called Relapse. Step one. Zach gets arrested and is charged with drug paraphernalia after gathering up needles in Pioneer Park and placing them in a Sharps container for disposal. The judge sentences him to community service. The justice system is aware of its own stupidity, but continues to deny it. Step two, Dante, I have seen your inferno. The first time I gave an overdosing man naloxone, he screamed from every cell in his body, his fist connected with my face, and I didn't see stars. I saw a lake of fire, and now I'm an atheist that believes in hell. Step three, Utah has a stigmata against addicts. Step four, Zach was in and out of rehab. We had both seen the bloody inside of the opioid epidemic. He advocated for addicts in a state that would rather see them dead. Step five, Zach fights to pass a Good Samaritan law that would prevent police from charging people who are overdosing with drug related crimes. He must build new homes in Utah's heart. Step six, the bill passes. Step seven, Zach fights for a new bill, one that would give the public access to naloxone. Step eight, a Purdue spokesperson says, abandon hope, all ye who enter here. And my friend Chase overdoses on an overprescription, and I am over playing the role of Virgil. Step nine, the bill passes. Glory, glory. In the land of the God makers, anyone can be a savior. Step 10, I placed all my coins on the eyes of my friends, and now I am begging strangers for pocket change. Step 11, Zach is working on a cell phone app that addicts can use to call for help. Step 12, no. Step 12, step 12. When did it get so quiet? I just saw him 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, he was at open mic night. And we had coffee and we talked about step one. Zach and I were both kept alive by the tiny miracles and curses that afflicted us. So why are mine so much more tenacious? Step two, in the land of the God makers, anyone can be a savior. Step two, do you hear that? It's Jesus Christ, American hero, sobbing in the parking lot. Step two, for God so loved the world. Step two, he gave his only begotten son. Step two, because he was too much of a coward to save us himself. Step one, Dante, I have seen your inferno. When I jumped off that cliff in Emigration Canyon, the snow caught my fall and planted me like a tree, and I was kept alive only by the tiny miracles and curses that afflicted me. Step 11, I sent Zach a message asking if he was really dead. He still hasn't opened it. Step 10, the first time I administered naloxone, the patient wanted to kill me for keeping him alive, and I hope he was able to forgive me, for I knew exactly what I had done. Step 12, in the land of the God makers, anyone can be a savior, but don't you know the most famous story about a savior? He gets forsaken at the end. Step one, for the first time in over a decade, Utah has moved below the national average of overdose deaths. And despite everything that has happened and everyone we have lost, I can feel something healing.
Oh, RJ. First off, rest in peace to Zach Baker. Um, wow. Jeez. I left a message asking him if he was really dead. He still hasn't opened it. I feel like a lot of people can resonate with that, even if we haven't met this particular person. 'Cause, we met when we were fairly young, but we're getting older, so that's that feeling of incredible people in our lives that we'll never get to see again. It's so hard to accept. Man, it is so hard to host when the poetry gets real. Oh my
Sorry
goodness.
to open with a heavy one.
No, man, you do what you gotta do. I'm just trying to be respectful, but also it's like an incredible poem. I don't know if you intended this, but when you put the fist to the face, the lens got blurry. And
Oh, I didn't even see my eyes were closed.
yeah, man, listen, sometimes the poetry hits another dimension, That's what happens when you speak the truth. And we can always depend on you to write what's necessary. What else have you been writing, man?
Yeah, Utah's a tough place to be an activist, and Zach was one of those people that really affected real change here. And it's so impossible because you got to fight God and the government at the same time. And yeah, he really succeeded in a place where the opioid crisis, like here, is like so intense. Specifically, prescription drug abuse is so intense and damaging here. And
Wow.
yeah, Zach's work to this day like saves lives.
How did he do it? Because how you phrased it, fighting government and God, that's a two-pronged foe.
Yeah, they say that you never see a street sweeper in Salt Lake City because to see a street sweeper is to admit that the streets are dirty. But the streets here are sparkling. So the street sweepers will like wait and hide for there to be no people, then they'll hurry and clean and then hide again. And that's just kind of the best metaphor for what life is like here. Like, are there problems? Absolutely. But if we just pretend they don't exist, you know, and that's what the opioid crisis here has been, is
Hmm.
just pretending it doesn't exist. Um,
Wow.
and what Zach did is he rallied doctors and medical professionals and, paramedics and most importantly, grassroots people coming to the open mic nights and talking to people about this and why it's necessary. He put together a ballot measure. He got 140,000 signatures and people voted. Like outside the legislature, around the legislature, they voted to make it happen.
Oh my goodness. Yo, shout out to Zach. It's like you said, anybody can be a savior, man. Wow. Wow. That gives me hope, man, because sometimes things be looking hopeless. There's been a couple moments recently, in the past couple weeks where I've gotten a little bit of hope, a little bit. I dare to hope again. But daring. I'm like Hawkeye in Endgame. Don't do that. Don't give me hope. But you telling us about your city and painting that picture, especially like with the street sweepers, that's a very apt metaphor. Um, at least in terms of my being able to understand it as an outsider. But yeah, and then also just yeah, that incredible story of your friend and what he was able to do. Thank you. I'm sure. Yo, let us know in the comments any other inspirational stories that are going on in your lives, because Lord knows we need hope and inspiration now. But anyway, let me be quiet. RJ, what else have you been writing? What's going on?
Yeah, so this is a new one. Um, and I was writing poems inspired by demons, like different like demons from occultism. And this is one I wrote for Glacia Labalas, which is a demon of bloodshed and conquest. Um,
what mythos is this being?
Uh, the Ars Goetia, also known as the Lesser Key of Solomon. So like Judeo-Christian occultism and apocrypha. The Lesser Key of Solomon is like a book you can get to summon demons, and it like has the ritual for how you summon these demons.
Uh-oh, you're not gonna summon a demon on us, are you?
Yeah, well, too late. But if you've seen the movie Hereditary, Paimon is one of the other demons from the Ars Goetia, and that's kind of what the movie is about, is they're summoning this demon.
About to get real spooky in here. It's too early for Halloween. All right, let me be quiet.
All right, here we go. My daddy can beat up your daddy. Yeah, huh? Yeah, huh? He's bigger than yours. My daddy works construction. My daddy built our house on your daddy's chest. Your daddy doesn't even know how to fight, not like my daddy. My daddy's 2 tons of American steel. We all know that America is the greatest country in the world. Yeah, huh? Yeah, huh? My country's just better than yours. We've got so much freedom. I can't hear you over the sound of the freedom of my speech, freedom of my religion. Your country doesn't even have HBO. In your country, everyone dies. Your country can't even feed itself. I don't know why our soldiers need to help you. My country should just blow your country off the fucking map. My country has done it before, you know. My country worked construction. My country built my house on your country's chest. America is the best country because my army is bigger than yours. Yaha, yaha, got bigger guns than yours. You can't even argue over the sound of all this freedom at 500 rounds a minute. My army got big and strong by eating all your money, 3 paychecks a day. Your army has kids for guns. My army has guns for kids and killers and Christians and everybody. My army has guns on their guns. My army is God's army. And listen, my God is the one true God. Yaha, yaha, more peaceful than yours by far. My God loves everybody, but especially my country, but especially my army. My God could beat up your God. He's bigger than yours. My God works construction. My God built his cities on top of your chest. My God once killed everyone just because he didn't like them. Your God ain't even from this country. Your God can't even feed itself. My God could blow your God off the fucking map. He's done it before, you know. Yaha, yaha. I seen it in a book. I seen it in your daddy's bleeding face. My God has an army and his children are guns. Yaha, I seen it. I am one. My God got big and strong by eating all this money, by eating your country like candy, by eating your God like bullets, by eating you and everything you are. Yaha, yaha. It's in the Bible. My God, we are all one big stomach ache and we don't know who to pray to now that we've eaten all the gods but ourselves. My God, it hurts. My God, we can't stop eating ourselves. My God, where do we go when there is nowhere left to manifest destiny ourselves? My God, I am a tumor. Yaha, yaha. I feel it in me like two fathers fighting, like countries at war, like gods that don't exist but killed each other anyway. My God, my heartache can beat up your heartache. My heartache killed everything else already, and now I can't stop burning all the things my daddy killed for me and my country and my God, yaha. It can, it hurts worse than you and all the dead we have made out of you, yaha. I seen it, I seen it, I seen it.
Bro.
I know that one's kind of a million rounds a minute.
Uh-huh. Yeah, huh. Yeah, yo.
Yeah.
Comparing that my dad can beat up, my country can beat up, my God can beat up. And then you went to my heartache can beat up. Oh my goodness. RJ, you've been writing. How new is that?
This one I wrote it a long time ago, and then I went back and revisited it and edited it, and then I stuffed it away, and then I revisited it a couple months ago and edited
Wow.
it. Um, and yeah,
Yo, man, tell me
bringing it
the,
back.
so I don't know anything about, like, what was the spiritual or yeah, component or the, like,
Yeah, so um, the sort of mythology of this is that there were demons that would roam the earth constantly and tempt people and commit evil and all of that. And then King Solomon, like from the Bible, captured them all and put them in jars so that they could not be demons again. It sealed them away, essentially. Um,
I
and a
mean, for
lot of like
starters,
these myths overlap, like the genie in the lamp kind of situation.
that's what I was imagining. Yeah.
Yeah, and this demon in particular is one of war and bloodshed. And so in writing these poems and like researching all these demons, there's 72 of them. I found ones that I feel like were like there's no possible way you could seal the abstract concept of bloodshed, but also like what does that look like today in sort of the spiritual attitude of people? the emotional attitude of people, the, my daddy can beat up your daddy, sort of emotional idea, but as big as you can get it. And also, growing up Mormon in this very sort of evangelical corporate Christianity, there's this like weird suffering fetish that is instilled in you, where it's like your pioneer ancestors suffered. And so you have to remember and experience that suffering because they had to walk across the plains to get here and colonize this place, essentially.
Oh
And
boy.
so ending with the my heartache can beat up your heartache, at a certain point, when you've sort of manifest destiny to everything you can, all that's left is your own victimhood to try to out ace people with like, how do you be better than anybody when you've dominated, conquered, and killed everything out there? All that's left is to the only person left to hurt is yourself. The only person left to erase is yourself.
Jeez, man. That's so true. Like if you could conquer everything, like you're not going to stop just because there's nothing left. Like that conqueringness doesn't just it's never satiated. Wow. Wow, man. Yo. I'm so glad I've got to hear this set. And it's not even done yet. But like, wow, it's so good. Okay, man. I'm so excited to see what you got for us next.
And for this last one, do you have any requests? I know that you know some of my poems.
Oh, I do. You know me, it's gonna be the Kool-Aid Man poem, so don't let me request.
Oh man, that's so hard to do over Zoom.
Okay.
That's
I'm also a fan of Brick, the Confederate
okay.
flag poem. Man, I don't know, but
Uh,
listen, my
I could
request
do.
is gonna
I
be
haven't done I retired both
then keep it retired,
poems.
man. Keep it retired. I don't want to disrespect that
No, I
decision.
just retired them from competitions.
Oh,
Uh, so I don't compete with them anymore.
okay. Well,
But I could
listen,
do. What do you think? The brick poem or the flag poem? I keep them both memorized because I think they're important poems.
you know what, man? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I kind of want to like because I know those poems and I cherish those poems. And y'all, if you don't know R.J. Walker's Confederate flag poem or R.J. Walker's brick poem, you need to look them up. Also, the Kool-Aid Man poem is incredible. I don't know if it's up anywhere though. I hope it is. But on just me, like as a friend and as a fan, I'm just excited to see like what you have been working on since we last saw each other. So me personally, I would love to see something new.
Something new?
Yeah, man.
Okay. I guess I will do
But everybody, seriously,
more
look up
new
R.J.
stuff.
Walker's brick poem and look up R.J. Walker's Confederate flag poem. They are
Yeah,
masterpieces.
this is brand new steaming new shit.
New shit? Let me get out of here.
And yeah, and I am so sorry that it's another super fucking heavy elegy. But um yeah, this poem is called The Forest of Weapons, and it's an elegy for Dan Sabin. Dante said, "Suicide is a forest. In my darkest dreams, I imagine weapons grow on the branches like fruit, and each one recognizes me instantly. I am a box cutter, an artificial claw. I used to eat cardboard and tape, but now all I can taste is blood, and I wonder what animal they plucked me from when they made me. I remember once I was used to open a gift on your birthday. Do you remember that feeling when the box split open and spilled its I am a gun, and so are you, explosive boy. I know you want to fire that broken brain out your head like a bullet. I know they'll look better than most of these half measures. I'm the most harvested crop in the orchard, and I'm always in season, so take a bite. Take it. I'm a cliffside, a great mouth, and I've swallowed you, boy, and spit you back out. Take a hint. Take a hint and nosedive off some other giant because wintertime in these mountains looks too pretty to be littered with your ugly bones. Talk to that building over there. I am a skyscraper. I got death at my feet. I got death inside me, but they are a different flavor. You want to be dead inside? Come through the door. You want to be dead all over? Go somewhere else. Jumping ain't productive. Talk to that bridge. That bridge over. I am a bridge. I connect people in places. They call me golden, but look at me. I'm red. I'm red all over. I connect people to places, but not to this place. I never wanted to bring them to this place. I never wanted to be so red. So I am a rope. I am an electrical cord. I am your sweat-soaked bed sheet. I am the tie you bought for your mission. And wow, isn't everything just one big gibbet? Don't this tree look like the almond tree in your back? I am a bottle of antidepressants, and I don't know the meaning of irony. I don't know why I'm in this weapons locker, but I'm afraid to read my own side effects. I'm terrified to think of how I got empty so fast, and you know what it means to try so badly to help, only to find yourself standing in a freshly dug grave, covered in soil, like you just planted a tree in the I am a brick in a dungeon wall. I am he that held both keys of Daniel's heart to lock and unlock, and well I knew to turn them is so exquisite an art. I am your own fucking fists. I am every hard thing. I am the shadow thing you imagine falling on you like a blanket or a kiss that causes you to never wake up. I am every pointed tip you ever drove deep into the soil of yourself, sprouts slowly bursting from your scars, reaching for. I am RJ, and I am 33 now, and I am not a tree, but Lord, do I feel like it. Sometimes I feel like this body is a tree I am trapped in, and I flinch at my own roots. But no, I am not a tree. I am not a weapon, but still I bear fruit. And I hope it is worth growing for. I hope it's sweet. I hope you like it. I hope I will learn to like it too.
Oh my goodness. I don't know about y'all, but I needed to hear this exact combination of poems. I'm so glad you did that new piece. Even though those other poems, such as Brick and Confederate Flag, are beloved to me, I needed to hear that exact combination of poems in that exact order. If y'all feel the same way, let me know. Let me know if it was just me. But if you need something inspiring, look up Brick. But this was also, I mean, the ending, I think it was very inspiring because I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one on like a self-healing journey, I'm not a tree, but I feel like it sometimes. I flinch at my own roots. I'm not a weapon, but I do bear fruit. Um, I hope you learn to like, I hope you like it. I hope I learn to like it too. Jeez, man, if you didn't recite my entire soul. RJ Walker, where can they find you? How can the folks support you?
Yeah, so that last poem is actually part of a new book called Astronaut and Stargazer. And the book is a series of epistles between two characters and the abstract concept of hopelessness. And it was originally a exhibit for broadsides in an immersive art exhibit here called Dreamscapes. So
Mm.
all of the poems are illustrated and have these beautiful illustrated borders. Um, and then the broadside exhibit was up for 1 month, and a billionaire bought the art gallery and is turning it into a private hockey rink for his personal hockey team.
Oh.
So if you want to see those poems, now that the originals are in rubble, um, you can go to rjwalker.bandcamp.com, where I've collected them in a book, full color, that you can get and order. Um, there's also, if you just want to see like my portfolio and stuff, is decodethecity.com. And if you want to know more about my theater company, it's misruletheaterco.com. Or
Okay.
actually, it's just misruletheater, re spelling, .com.
Yo, and y'all need to look up all that stuff. I'm telling you. There's so many great poems he has. Oh, the one about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, like once they're no longer a teenager. Ah, my God, so many
Oh, yeah.
poems.
Elderly Mutant Ninja Turtles. I rememorized that one recently
Yes!
because I feel like I needed to have way more silly poems in my repertoire when I tour. Like, do the
Yeah,
silly
man.
poems go viral? No. But
It
do they
don't.
bring joy to all? Yes.
Damn right, man. And listen, I love that you're writing the new stuff that you really, really, really need to write. But like, don't forget, man, like the reason I'm such a fan is also because of the joy that you bring. But I know that you'll never lose that. That's always part of you. And I'm excited to see this part of the journey as well. All right, RJ, thank you so much for joining me, in the Nuyorican Poets Cafe as we do our
Thank you
virtual
for
thing.
having me. I'm excited for the day when the construction on the venue is done.
Oh
Uh,
man. And let's
because
yeah, you'll be invited immediately, man.
yes, yes.
Okay, man. And listen, I want to feature at the greenhouse now that you are the host. When I'm in the area, I'll let you know, okay?
Yeah. Anytime. Just let me know what Sunday you want.
Okay, man.
And if you come to, so Salt City Slam is on the last Monday of every single month. So you can do the Greenhouse Effect Sunday and then the Monday feature. So you can kind of stack shows here.
Any poets who are watching are like, okay, if I go to Salt Lake
Yeah,
Sunday.
just booking requests go to utahpoetryslam@gmail.com. Sammy Walker's the current producer of Salt City Slam. So she's running everything and she's great.
Okay, look at RJ is showing the path for y'all to feature. Listen, I'm gonna write that down too. All right, RJ, thank you so much, friend.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was great to see you. I'll let you know if I'm stopping by New York. I'm probably just going to visit uh, once I'm doing like Boston and New Hampshire, but I'm probably going to visit New York because I have some friends there. So I'll let you know when I'm in town.
Yeah, man, please, please. And I'm sure that like anybody who's from New York who's watching is like, oh my God, I saw him on the Beatnix. All right, RJ. McPherson, who do we got next? Well, McPherson, I am there it is. Well, McPherson, I am here with Sammy Walker. Sammy, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Chilling, chilling. It's been a long one, but I'm happy to be here with you and to hear your set. And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So let me introduce Sammy Walker to the people. Hey, people. So Sammy Walker is an internationally ranked and five-time published poet from Salt Lake City, Utah. She spends her time organizing and running events like Salt City Youth, Utah's monthly slam, Page to Stage, a writing and performance workshop, and coaching the youth slam scene in various high schools around the valley. When Sammy isn't running an event, she is competing. She has set foot on many stages around the US, like Bigfoot Regional Slam, WOWPS, Chill List, and many other stages on her 2024 tour. Touring, that's this year. You can
Mhm.
support Sammy by following her on social media at Sammy is Poetry, buying her books, which we will talk about later, and other merchandise, as well as booking her for events, features, and workshops such as this one. And that's what we did. Hey, well, with that said, poetry lovers, I'm gonna get out your way and give y'all Sammy Walker.
I have always been a shelter dog, one half greyhound, other half terrier, which is to say, I have always been a runner. Tried to take off after my father the day that he left in the race. Just hasn't stopped. He taught me that home is just an attractive word for cage, and door is just a solid word for bars, and forget is just as frail as forever. I learned that I am just a ripped up rag doll, just a chew toy child torn at the seams, watched my stuffing come out in clumps, tried to gather anything I could hold, try to pack, prick, sew myself together, but there is no cure for hollowness. My family is a toxic owner. They act embarrassed of all the tricks that they neglected to teach me, turned obedience training into pink collar pageants, made a show dog out of me. They tried to bribe the hunter, scold the cadaver, drain whatever fight I still had left, tried to make me part of the pack, so I sat. I stayed. I let them dress up all the parts they never liked in the first place just for them to leave me astray. And they wonder why I never come running back to them. They act as if they weren't the same people who shot collared the growl right out of me, as if even through all the gritted teeth and burning skin, I wasn't the mutt that they muzzled. They expected a purebred and were so surprised when I turned out to be a bitch. They act as if the pack did not train me to watch from a distance, make me beg for their scraps, pretend to throw a bone my way, but never let it go. So I learned to bite back, sink my teeth into anything that came too close to attack the hand that fed me. And since then, there has always been nostalgia in an empty stomach, because this feeling, so hollow, it could have only been love. It could have only been family. I don't like to talk in between because I never know what to say. So I'm just gonna like poem after poem after poem.
That is the best way. That's my favorite type of set, to be real. But
The
while I'm here, let me just bring myself back for just 1 second. Show self view. Did you say what you call it? My family is a toxic owner. Is that what it was?
yes.
Bars, right. Okay. So yeah, Sammy has two more poems for us and you're just gonna do them back to back. So let me get out your way. Poetry Lover, I once again give you Sammy Walker.
Today's the day I'm going to die. I will drive to music, listen to a song that I don't quite know the words to yet, but I'm learning. I will turn onto a street that I do not know, because the street I am familiar with is ripe and bursting with traffic. I count the coins in my cup holder, exactly 3 nickels, 2 dimes, and 16 pennies. I count backwards in 15-second increments. I do this about 15 times to stay calm because I can't turn onto another road because what if a car accident is waiting for me? What if a God that I don't believe in forgets to save me? And sorry, let me start over. Today's the day I'm going to die. I will drive to music, listen to a song that I know all the words to. I'll turn onto a street that I know too well, one that has watched me grow up better than a parent did. But predictability is its own devil. I count the coins in my cup holder, exactly 3 nickels, 2 dimes, and 16 pennies. That never changes, but I count them anyways. I count backwards in 15-second increments. I do this about 15 times before slowing at a freshly green light and easing into the intersection. And I never really saw him coming. I mean, he was never really coming. I mean, his car hits mine. His car stops right before it hits mine. His car kisses mine and swoons it over. I remember the passenger side window shattering into a shooting star now found in the hollows of my cheek. I unbuckle my seatbelt. I mean, I never really had a seatbelt on in the first place. I'm through the windshield. I mean, I am a pile of bloodstained pennies. I mean, I am finally the change I've always asked for. I can feel my heart beat in my mouth, so I spit out the organ. I mean, I just want it to stop. I mean, I'm not quite ready to let it go, so I keep my mouth shut. And when the paramedics asked, I said it was my fault. I mean, I said it was his fault. I mean, I just can't get my story straight because I'm here, lying to all of you. I mean, I'm telling the truth. I mean, my mind makes up so many stories. I mean, solutions. I mean, lies. I mean, all of this is just an intrusive thought, a fairy tale, a poem fictional to you. But for me, today's the day I'm going to die. I mean, today's the day I'm going to die. I mean, my OCD is trying to kill me. 15. I'll turn onto a street that I drive every day. 14. I still can't catch my breath. 13. I listen to a song over and over again. 12. I'm still bleeding from the night before. 11. I'm still chewing on shooting stars. 10. I still stop at green lights. 9. Look both ways before heading into the intersection. 8, because I'm so scared of what I won't meet on the other side. 7, my OCD just can't get its story straight. 6, you know how hard it is. 5, to fight yourself every day. 4, to wish you'd finally just crash the car. 3, to finally break the repetition. 2, so everything would just be silent, silent, silent for once. Have you ever realized that danger has always been invented before comfort? This is why the barbed wire came before the paperclip, or why fight always comes before convenience, or delicate, or art. And isn't it funny how we as humans find ourselves in this pattern of destruction before creation? This is why the dynamite came before the sewing machine, or why the revolver came before the typewriter. And you know, all of this reminds me of you. How you took my grief and made it a weapon, turned it back on me and said dance. So turn this ambush into a butterfly. When I pull the trigger right, it's landing. When the bullet wants the primary color itself through your body, pressurize it until it becomes pastel. When your skin wants to yawn out all the shrapnel, hold on to it till it turns to midnight stars. Until the hurt is just bones, is just permanent, is just you. And I think there's something poetic in us, how even after all of this, you still find me beautiful enough to erode, to break down, to consume, still find me art enough to hang, to nail through, to stretch across, to resurrect all over your walls. And isn't it dangerous that I know my place is the typewriter or the sewing machine or the paperclip, how I expect it in every relationship? And I guess my pattern is always just find the hurt, the hard, the explosion in the haystack, to paper mache myself over it, call myself a band-aid, and really I am just a puncture wound that has not yet learned how to pack the gauze into its frame. So instead, I will stretch into a new canvas, a blank page ready for you to vandalize. But what would happen if the paperclip hooked before the barbed wire? What if the sewing machine fused before the dynamite? What if the typewriter released its cartridge before the gun? What if I learned that I could fire exclamations into something without sound, without an injury? If I too felt more power than poet, felt more ink than lead, what would happen then? Let's switch places. Even if just for one night, I will be the danger. You can be the fresh paint. I will be the silver-bodied bullet you put in the hollows of yourself when you feel like playing hide and seek with your color. Count to 3 and let me graffiti it out of you. When you find me, I will be a smoke-lit fuse. I will be a firecracker. You will be so hypnotized by my flame you'll forget to run. To have left you gasping on the ground, and doesn't it feel nice that I find you aren't enough to hook, to damage, to decorate? And isn't it funny how we found ourselves in this pattern of destruction before creation? And doesn't it ache to know that I've convinced you to love me enough to leave pieces of yourself, all flesh and bleeding, until you are nothing but a sliver in a haystack?
Everybody, that is Sammy freaking Walker. We need to talk about it though. Wait. Um, First off, that the car crash poem, counting of the pennies, you already had me there. And then like the repeating and then the repeating within the repeating. And then oh my goodness, that poem so good. Oh my goodness. But this last one I thought was very freaking cool. One of my friends he was telling me, I don't know how true it is, but he was like the Manhattan Project and the development of the nuclear bomb is why we, had the space race. Like that led to that. So like the destruction led to the creation. And then you interrogated that, like, why are we always, destruction first, and then like maybe if we can make something creative out of it afterwards, cool. Like, what if we led with the? It's such a good question. Such a very freaking cool question. Um, Oh my goodness. And the revolver and the typewriter, love that. So cool. So cool. So Sammy Walker, you produce Salt City Slam, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. When did you start doing that?
May of this year, actually.
Oh, okay.
I've
So it's a new position. I can relate to that. I can relate to
I've
that.
been on the leadership board for a couple of years, but actually in charge of it is new.
And how is that going? What would you say are like the biggest challenge and the biggest blessing of running the ship?
Um, as you heard in my poem, I have really severe OCD. So I feel the need to just do everything by myself and not ask for help.
Mm.
So I am very tired already. But it's been really nice because I've been to Wilds this year and been on tour, and so I've made a lot of connections and been networking a lot. So my first feature that I was in charge of was Rudy Francisco. And we'd been trying to book him for years. And I just texted him and I was like, hey, I need a feature. Do you want to come? And he was like, yeah, sure. And all the other poets were like, we've been trying to book him for years. And I was like, well, you guys just aren't cool enough, I guess.
Oh,
And then we
cool.
just actually had our 30th anniversary last month, and he came back and competed. And then we had a handful of poets from all over the US, like California and Nevada, and like we had Baltimore, Texas. It was crazy.
That's a big night.
hmm And oh my gosh, it was so good. We got a lot of help from the community, and we were able to pay every single competing poet. It was amazing.
That's the dream. That's the
Mhm.
dream. Like to compete and to be paid just to compete. Oh, so good. Shout out to y'all for being able to pull that off. It's very hard to pull that off. So that's so interesting. Because we heard so much about like the challenges of Salt Lake with the previous poet, but and that's real and that's what's up. But
Mhm.
like all this glory, there's a lot of good stuff on the horizon, it seems.
Yeah.
So. Thank you for maintaining the hope and the optimism and giving us inspiration. Because it'd be hard out here as you're learning, I'm sure, from your new position of power and responsibility. It's giving Spider-Man. Um, well, Sammy, so you had some books, right? Like, how can we support you? How can we follow you? Because I need that Destruction Before Creation poem, Revolver Before Typewriter poem.
That's
I
actually in
need that one.
this
That's
book.
Is that the one?
Yes, it's called Third Time's a Charm. My stepdad did the cover for me.
Okay.
Um,
Shout out to
and
stepdad.
I have a website, but I'm not really good at updating it. So if you message me on Instagram, I will most likely get you the book faster.
That's the way. That's the way. Okay, so that's the third time's the charm. That's the one I'm gonna get because yeah, that poem just oh, thank you for sharing that one with us. Any more books though?
Yes, my very first book was A Series of Beautiful Collisions. All
Get
of these
them.
are also available on Amazon, but like Amazon doesn't pay me, so like come through
They
me
don't
so I
pay
can get
you?
the money. They do, but it's a struggle to get the money, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And then Heirloom, this one's all about my family trauma, also done by my stepdad.
Very
The
cool
cover,
cover.
not the trauma, the cover.
Oh,
And then this one is called What I Told the Stars About You, and it's an entire book of blackout poems that I originally wrote about my ex-boyfriend. We were together, and then I left him, and then I took him out of the I brought him out. So now they're new poems, not about it.
very cool concept. Oh, wow. The mic got a little distorted, but if I heard you right, you said these were love letters to somebody from your past, and then you made them an erasure or blackout poem. So, like, do you repurpose them?
Yes. So it has the original poem, and then it has the blackout poem.
Oh, very generous to give us both. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Well, that is how we support Sammy Walker, and that is going to conclude our Salt Lake City episode. Sammy, special thanks to you. Really, really appreciate it. And also thank you to the city of Salt Lake. Thank you to the Mid-Atlantic Group and the Nuyorican Poets Cafe for making this episode possible. Next stop on the Beatnix on the Road virtual poetry tour, we're gonna have a very special episode. Not like a 90s sitcom where we talk about like something taboo. I mean, 'cause I guess all the poems do that. But what we're gonna do is it's gonna be called the Missed the Bus episode where poets that we wanted to get from past cities, but we just couldn't because of scheduling or other reasons, we're gonna swoop them back up. They'll be from various cities, and yeah, they're gonna be great. And I'm so glad that you're gonna get a chance to see them. All right, y'all. With that said, I'll see you on down the road. Bye now.